This has been another Seeking Zion production. Justice League of Transformation through Ministry. The rational, abstract, and methodical study of reality is defined as philosophy. Philosophy has been a central feature of human civilization from ancient Greece to the present day. Throughout the centuries, noble scholars, theologians, and educators, both young and old, have formed unique ideas and made significant contributions to a wide range of industries and subjects, including politics, mathematics, literature, art, and science. Some of the most influential philosophers, their schools of thought, are asking how we can make things better for the next generation. This presentation will discuss 4 philosophical tenets raised throughout the course. While philosophy appears to have existed since the enlightenment of humanity, there appears to be societal themes and actions that have not faded. However, they have redefined themselves and taken on new forms. In a society that has supposedly grown, we are still absent of justice for all. John Rawls states that justice is the first virtue of societal institutions, as truth is the systems of thought. A theory, however elegant and economical, must be rejected or revised if it is untrue. It seems for part of our society that this theory is in fact true. Yet one must recognize that a society is not, in fact, a whole society when we cannot all move forward together. A society that is justly shifting cannot ignore injustice or turn away from the prejudice involved. Nor can a thriving society ignore the manner in which it came to be. John Rawls noted, "Now let us say that society is well ordered when it is not only designed to advance the good of its members, but when it also effectively regulated by public conception of justice." The instability of any institution cannot fully develop into an ideal utopia if certain behaviors still exist. How can we believe in a constitution that states that all people are created equal, yet the silent part of "except if you have certain skin or look a certain way" is whispered through acts of injustice, inequality, and brutality? On the contrary, the issue of social injustice affects everyone. John Rawls determined that everyone is presumed to act justly and to do his part in upholding just institutions. Though justice may be, as Hume remarked, the cautious, jealous virtue, we can still ask what a perfectly just society would look like. It seems that if John Rawls is left asking, then what hope is there for people of various demographics in a technological world? Paulo Freire presents the central problem of humanity, the problem of humanization, the natural human drive to affirm our humanity and dehumanization, which is the result of historical oppression. People naturally strive to become more human, a process hampered by injustice, exploitation, and violence. Society must be encouraged to become a new man within its governments, structures, and institutions. It seems that we must not conform to the stipulations of unwarranted oppression. We must educate others to rise above the systemic indifferences that stagnate our societal growth. The duality of oppressor and oppressed must become transformal in the pursuit of the inner spiritual freedom and liberation needed to create a new society. It seems that the work of freedom and liberation and justice must start from within. External expressions of hope and deliverance start with creating a new human within the old mindset. To elaborate further, we must recognize that Paulo Freire raises the first issue, which is that we as individuals have the potential to be both oppressive and the oppressor. The journey begins with self and our desires to become free of strongholds surrounded with negative thinking, mindsets, doubts, and many of the intimidating factors that cause us to remain in the abyss of our circumstances. Yet if we follow the breadcrumbs carefully that Paulo Freire has left on the road as we journey, the prospects of finding freedom and liberation is ours. The Ubuntu revolution must develop from the ashes of the past, igniting and forging a new path for future generations. Ubuntu implementation is how we continue to instruct our children and completely liberate them and ourselves from mental and cognitive conditioning that has prevented most of us from breaking free from many years of indoctrination. We must all evolve into new beings with renewed mindsets and let go of old habits and hatred. As biblical scripture establishes, becoming a new thing as an example of how society cannot continue in its current form. I am because we are doesn't imply that I am not connected to anyone. Communities, as well as those who live outside of them, are a part of the bigger picture. It signifies the spiritual connection between each and every one on the planet. The air that is breathed in Atlanta is the same air in Chicago. And yet we have allowed ourselves to believe the deceit of separation, which in itself is an injustice. I am, because we are, signifies that together we are greater than any system, structure, or institution. It is our unity and our voices that can tear down the walls of Jericho. In a world of assorted diversity, it seems that to acknowledge the need for justice is often tone deaf and uncertain. Yet in every aspect of said diversity, people must battle for their own rights in one arena or another, whether personal or public. If society took the pragmatic approach, it would lead us to recognize that doing what is best for the little man in society would give us the best results. Implementing the Ubuntu philosophy within the pursuits of a just society would allow various diverse groups to recognize that we all have talents that can forge us forward by becoming defenders of justice and education through ministry. This has been another Seeking Zion production.